I want to welcome you guys to the Happy Go Lucky YouTube channel that I started about 2 weeks ago. Typically, I'm going to have guests on that are kind of industry leaders, people with experience, different opinions on how to train dogs, what's worked for them, what hasn't. And we started the show with Jay Jack, which was an amazing episode. And it was really timely because when I brought Jay on, I was actually going to his seminar in Nashville with Larry Krohn. Next, I followed that up with Chanel. She's a TWC certified trainer. And I'm going to have more and more and more guests like that on where you could pop onto the channel, watch for 10 minutes, watch for an hour, and hopefully take away some value, some tips on how to become a better trainer. A little bit about me, since I haven't made a formal introduction. I started Happy Go Lucky Dog Company. It was a training business, and I'm going on to the third year here. So this episode isn't going to be about dog training advice. This episode is going to be about kind of the origin story and how young trainers can also find those first core clients where they can learn. The reason I wanted to make this specific video is what I'm personally seeing in the space after going to a few seminars is a bunch of ambitious young people. So for as long as I could remember, I wanted to be in business for myself. I wanted to have the freedom. I wanted to be my own boss. And I think a lot of people that have gotten into this industry have gotten into it for that reason. I think that's a very noble reason. There's a lot of veteran dog trainers that are giving out great advice on how to be the best trainer you can be. You don't need to come here for that. But what was a challenge, at least for me, was how to stay in business long enough, especially in those early days, so that I could learn, so that I could improve. And that's what today's 10 to 15 minute video is going to be about. It's going to be in short form, kind of like advice or suggestions to my younger self. And I think some of the trainers that I met at these seminars who are, in their first year, maybe the first 6 months, and wondering, how can I get my first client? How can I get my second client? This would be really, really helpful for them, because the truth is, no matter how good of a trainer you are, you still have to stay in business, and you still have to run the business well so that you can do what you're meant to do. So, like I said, there's Larry Krohn, Jay Jack, Ivan Balabanov, bunch of really, really esteemed trainers with training certification programs that you guys can go and learn from. And they put out a lot of information on YouTube for free. There's a lot of trainers I didn't even mention there, right? I always think that learning from different trainers, whether that's what to do or what not to do, is super important. And I mean, that's been a recurring theme with every guest I've had on, no matter if they're in this industry for 5 years, 20 years, or even 30 years, they're always learning. So even at the seminar, that was one of Larry's big points is, guys, like, we're here presenting and teaching you guys what we know. But after the seminar is done, we go upstairs and we're learning as well. We're kind of looking at the fundamentals and how we can improve, even if it's just a little bit. So there's a lot of content out there helping you guys become better trainers. But I wanted today's video to be about how to get your first clients. And I wanted to start out with kind of my origin story. So the reason I even got into this 3 years ago was, like I said, I always wanted to be in business. I started a sports card podcast during COVID, and we did an episode every single day, 1,000 episodes. And I was looking for a fresh start, and I wasn't sure where to go. So I got a dog. Her name was Lucky, a shelter dog, a little Puerto Rican kind of street dog. And then maybe a month later, one of my neighbors who saw me walking that dog offered to rehome this guy, this pit bull Buddy. So going from no dog to 2 dogs in the apartment, I began to work with the dogs, teach him how to be off leash. Buddy was a little bit aggressive towards dogs, fear aggressive towards dogs, working through that. So as you could imagine, I didn't have much experience, but I was kind of committed to what I took on. After about a month or so, I was able to teach my dogs how to be off leash. And as a result, some of my neighbors in the apartments also saw that, and they said, hey, I leave for work. Would you be able to just like walk my dog with your dogs, give it a little bit of exercise? I see that your dogs are off leash. Maybe you could take my dog on leash with them. And that's how these pack walks that you guys might see on my Instagram started. I also had another neighbor who had two Aussies. One was a deaf Aussie, amazing dog named Ocean, who would join me for those pack walks. So, quickly our pack walks grew to 4, 5, 6 dogs. And I never thought I would get into dog training. I love business. I love the process of business. I think business in and of itself is such an amazing tool to bring out the best in you. I think it's an incredible self-awareness tool. But I never thought I'd be in the dog service or the dog training space. So as these pack walks started to grow, clients enjoyed it. And they said, hey, if you could do this repeatedly, I could pay you $20, $30, $40 kind of a day for you to take out the dogs. And that was great. But in and of itself, that wouldn't pay the bills, right? And I was kind of at this like middle stage of not knowing what was next for me. The podcast from sports cards was winding down. I wanted something new, but I wasn't sure what that would be. And I started thinking, like, what is the best way to gain experience without over-promising and saying, hey, I could fix these huge behavioral issues, because I didn't know how to at that stage. How can I gain experience, find clients, but not over-promise, right? And what I knew I could do was I could teach dogs how to be pretty reliable off leash, and I knew how to use a long leash. So knowing who my clients were, right? It's busy people, typically busy mothers with a dog at home that doesn't get enough exercise. I started to think, how can I acquire more customers? How can I find more people for a fair price so they could get to know what I'm doing? And if this turns into a business, that would be great. So for you guys out there, and I met a lot of you at the seminar in Nashville. I met a lot of you guys at the seminar in Tampa Bay for Dylan's that are looking to turn this hobby. And I've heard of, I'm a dog groomer, I'm a dog walker, I'm a pet sitter. I want to make this full time, but I'm not sure how to make it into a real business. The key to any business is customer acquisition, fulfilling the promises that you make. Don't overpromise. I would actually argue underpromise and overdeliver just a bit. So finding customers, telling your customers what you're going to do, and then executing on that. That is all you need to focus on. And today's video is going to be about how I was able to acquire my first 20 or 30 customers. And those 20 or 30 customers that I found 3 years ago have been the core word of mouth customers that helped my business grow to over 6 figures this year, just through word of mouth. I spent no money on marketing. And it was simply word of mouth and what I did 3 years ago. And here's what I'll tell you guys. You have to get to know your clients, your customers, or your potential customers. Who is it that you want to serve? Once you get clear on that, like I said, mine is a mother who is busy with 2 or 3 kids. She takes those kids to school. After school, she goes to different activities. The dog is the last priority. That dog needs exercise. Doesn't necessarily need a neighborhood walk. It needs exercise. Okay. Where does that person spend time? That person, my client, would spend time at Orange Theory, at Pilates, at yoga, at local cafes. This is what I did. And I think a lot of you out there who don't have enough customers, who have time, they don't have the customer base, can use this same tool, the same method. A lot of people are scared to do things for free. And as long as I've been in business, I've heard this. Don't do things for free because people won't value you. I, to this day, still do things for free. Even though the business is going very, very well, I still do things for free. And here's why. When you do things for free, people are able to see if they're going to fit into your philosophy, into your vision, into your business model without any commitment. So what I did was I printed out a basic flyer. On that flyer was a free training evaluation and pack walk. I then went on Google Maps and I found, like I said, Pilates studios, yoga studios, local cafes. I made a list of 100. This is readily available information. I'm already doing the pack walks. I know I could take on more dogs. I reached out to these places and I did a cold call. And the cold call went something like this. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm the owner of Happy Go Lucky Dog Training Company. We are a company here in Boca Raton. We have all 5-star reviews, and we believe that your customers could benefit and find value in what we do. Would it be okay if I printed out flyers? I'd make them custom for your business with your logo on it. And then you know which of your customers have dogs, and you could offer it to them. No strings attached. Orange Theory said yes. Jet Set Pilates said yes. Other fitness studios and cafes also said yes. So I would show up the next day with those printed flyers. I printed them right from Canva, and it got shipped to FedEx. Spent maybe $100. And I brought them 25 flyers, 50 flyers. And flyers looked nice. They looked presentable. Had the Orange Theory logo. It said, free evaluation and pack walk. Please call this phone number. That's simple. And now, if you kind of just think about it, those studios had something to offer to their clients. I came in, I brought a dog in. My dog was well behaved. They trusted me. They saw a trusted face. I was right down the street from them. And now they had something to give to their customers. And they knew which customers had dogs. They know their customers. Those customers began calling me. And now, maybe they didn't need dog training advice, but they would call me. I would answer. They say, hey, Andrew, this is really cool. My dog already has training, but he would be interested in some exercise. Could we come by? So people would come by. I would have a long leash ready. I would have a slip lead. I would have my best behaved 2 or 3 dogs. I would take that person. I would take the dog, and we'd just go for a walk in nature. We'd meet in different nature spots around the area, and I would make connections with people in the area. Now, here's what would happen from that. That cost me $100 to print out those flyers and a little bit of time. And now I made a connection with someone. And that person, whether they turned into a client or not, was a lead that could refer me someone else down the road. So even if that dog didn't need the service that I was offering and the person was just checking it out, say, hey, I got a flyer from Orange Theory. I came by, we've already been trained, but I just wanted to see what this was about. But my neighbor also just got a puppy. Do you know if you would be okay with giving them a free evaluation? I would say, sure. I'd have flyers left over. I'd say, you could give this to them, and she could call me at her convenience. And now our pack walks began to grow. And 2 things happened. Not only did those customers kind of convert and say, hey, yeah, I would love to bring my dog once a week for this. This is great. What do you charge? They also started telling their friends. They also said, hey, I know you don't need training, and I know you take your dog to daycare, to doggy daycare, but maybe this is a cool alternative. They get to spend time in nature. There's this kind of fun crew that does these pack walks. Give it a try. And from something as simple as offering a free evaluation and a free pack walk, 2 to 3 hours of my time, I was able to acquire 20, 30, 40 customers off of a $200 printout of a flyer and time and effort of cold calling and doing research. And the way I was able to get there was because I got incredible clarity into who I serve and what I can offer, and not promising more than I can at that time. So that's what I wanted this video to be about. If you're early on, if you're just starting out, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged just because you're not getting clients. Don't get discouraged by all the voices on social media saying this training style is wrong or this training style is right. Those voices are going to be there in perpetuity. Get very clear into what you enjoy doing with dogs, how you can replicate that and serve people, under promise, over deliver, and find local businesses in your area to help you get those clients by offering something of value, something for free. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. This channel is going to be a mix of things. So, I have the podcast where I interview dog trainers in the industry. I want to interview more dog nutritionists and dog conditioning specialists. So it's going to branch out, but it's just general dog welfare. We also have a really cool program or a sub-program in Happy Go Lucky, which is kind of like fitness and rehabilitation for dogs. I'll tell you at a different time how that started, but it's really near and dear to my heart. I've seen it help tons of dogs, whether they're recovering from CCL injuries, they're getting old and they're just lameness, or building confidence for puppies. So there's a great show on the channel showing you kind of like a DIY, do it yourself, using a Bosu ball and an exercise ball, how to strengthen your dog's muscles, coordination, and focus. And then I'll pop in here every once in a while with just like kind of stories of how I was able to grow the business, what mistakes I made, and how to avoid them in the future, and things like that. So please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you for taking this journey with me.